Far in the Tibetan Plateau, in a high-altitude land where few people dwell, is Qinghai Province. This area, larger than all of France, only has a small population of only about 5 million people in the whole province. Many of these are nomadic yak herders who live in the high mountains between 10,000 to 14,000 feet. The Tibetan Plateau is called the Third Pole because after the North and South Pole, this is the third largest supply of drinking water in the world. Flowing out of the Himalayas, this supplies almost 50% of the world's population in China, India, and Southeast Asia their drinking water. Qinghai Province, although virtually unheard of by everyone outside of China, is the source of 3 of China's greatest rivers: the Yellow River, the Mekong River, and the Yangtze River. In this series, we will be exploring the life and culture around these remote areas. Qinghai Province is the source of the Yellow River. The Yellow River bubbles up out of the ground in these remote, often frozen lakes at 4,500 meters in elevation, and then it winds its way down through China. The Yellow River's upper headwaters include the upland swamps and pastures of the Tibetan Plateau in Qinghai Province, and these then flow north through red rock gorges up until it leaves the valleys for the Gobi Desert in Inner Mongolia. In Qinghai Province, the Yellow River flows over the roof of the world at over 3 or 4 kilometers in average elevation above sea level. In this area, its waters are mostly alpine lakes, marshes, and grassy meadows, and its water is relatively clear. The Yellow River, or Huanghe in Mandarin Chinese, or Machu in Tibetan, is the second longest river in China, after the Yangtze, and the 5th longest river in the world, with a length of 5,464 kilometers, or 3,395 miles. The Yellow River originates in the high plateau and flows through 9 provinces, from west to east, eventually pouring out into the Bohai Sea. It is the mother river of China. Its basin was the center of Chinese politics, economy, and culture for over 2,000 years. The Yellow River is not just an iconic river of China, but also the symbol of the Chinese spirit, bearing burdens as it bears its sedimentation, adaptation and flexibility as its course changes and winds through China, and overall the perseverance of the Chinese people to survive and endure over 4,000 years of civilization.
We are driving from Xining to Yushu, that's about 800 kilometers, and we are at the highest point in the whole drive at 4,829 meters. That's about 15,800 feet. It's really high. Even just getting out of the car and walking about 20 feet from the car, we are exhausted. You can see the prayer flags. It's snowy up here. There's huge banks of snow that are like 3 meters tall surrounding this road. So this is a very severe, harsh environment. Going over this high pass here from Xining to Yushu. We're about a third of the way. You can see it's snowing today. It often snows up here at such an elevation. And this is the high barren grasslands that occupy most of the drive, the 800 kilometer drive from Xining to Yushu. Okay, we misestimated our battery life of our drone. We had to make an emergency touchdown in this mucky high alpine. Look at our feet. Ah! Look at my feet. Oh no! Ah! Look at this muddy land. We had to come out here up to our ankles in mud, and the drone touched down in this mud. Thank God, because it could have touched down anywhere in the water and been totally ruined. But you can see my muddy feet. We're totally covered in mud, but we got the drone back and it looks like it's in good condition. And the only thing that happened to it is a little mud on the landing gears. No worries. But the camera, everything is good. Thank the Lord. We could have really lost our drone here. So, warning for you guys, if you don't know how long it's going to take for your drone to get back, give it a little bit more time than you think, because we underestimated ourselves by about 200 meters and we almost lost our drone into the swamp. We're about 40 kilometers from Madoa, 4,000 meters, and we're flying drones.
The highlight of Madoa town, other than being one of the remotest and highest towns in all of the cultural Golok Tibetan area, is the King Gesar temple. You can take about an hour walking around this area on the outskirts of town. King Gesar was a real king who over time has become a mythical legend, something like the Genghis Khan of the Tibetan Plateau. There are many legends told about him, some of which say he flew and conquered evil demons. The epic of King Gesar is a great heroic story created by the Tibetan people and represents the highest achievement of Tibetan literature. It is the longest epic in the world, the length even exceeding the combined total of the 5 most famous epics in the world, including the Greek Odyssey and the Iliad. As the beloved king of the ancient Tibetan kingdom of Ling, Gesar was believed to be the son of God of heaven. Gesar and his followers bravely and resourcefully struggled against evil forces and conquered the kingdom of demons with great wisdom and supernatural power, bringing peace and happiness to his people. Madoa is a really small town with maybe only 10,000 people in it, so there's not a lot to do here, unless you're heading out to the source of the Yellow River or driving further to Yushu. But if you want to get out, you can hike this little hill full of prayer flags outside of the King Gesar temple. The hike gains only 100 to 200 vertical feet in elevation, but with the altitude, you're definitely going to feel it in your lungs, and you're probably not going to want to do too much more than this in an afternoon. This is a great place to acclimatize at 4,200 meters.
So we're looking out here of the first bridge of the Yellow River. We just passed a town called Madoa at 4,250 meters, so right around 14,000 feet. So we're in the high Tibetan grasslands, we're driving to Yushu, and this is the first bridge that crosses the Yellow River. If you follow this river upstream for about 3 hours, you'd reach these two beautiful lakes, Jiarong and Qirong Lake, at about 15,000 feet, and that is the actual source of the Yellow River. So, of course, the Yellow River is considered the cradle of Chinese civilization. It's very important for China, and here we are at the first bridge that crosses it. One interesting fact about this bridge is that Tibetans, when they have someone in their family die, they hang these prayer flags to offer prayers for them as they enter the next life. Come out and hang with us at Elevated Trips. We'd love to have you see the high Tibetan Plateau.